Well, here we are at Saltire. It's been a long time coming, but we're with Jonny from William Wood Watches, and we've got Calum, the main man from Saltire and Alba Customs. Now, if you don't know why you're here to watch this video, it's for multiple reasons. One is to find out about William Wood Watches, in case you don't know about them, you've not heard the podcast before, and also to find out about a watch and a motorcycle. Well, more the motorcycles today. It's not the watches so much, and a charity that is going to benefit from a prize draw. But for the guys that don't know anything about William Wood, let's start with you because you're closest. Give us the rundown. What's it all about?
So my name's Jonny. I'm the founder of William Wood Watches. The brand is dedicated to my grandfather, William Wood. He served in the British Fire Service for over 25 years. And my grandfather was a massive role model in my life. Sadly, he passed away in 2009. But what we do is we make watches from genuine upcycled firefighting materials, and we donate a percentage of all sales to international firefighting charities. The Firefighters Charity is the main charity in the UK that we donate to, and that was a charity who actually helped my grandfather when he was alive and in the fire service. So it's pretty special knowing that through projects like this, we can donate back to people who helped my grandfather when he was alive.
You've been on the show many times. You've told our listeners the story in depth. If you haven't heard this story, then there'll be links in the description. You can go and check out some of the podcasts that we've done before. Next up, Calum, tell us what you do.
What do I do? Man.
Boss people around generally?
No, not at all. I like to say that I like to make people's dreams come true, basically. Yes, I have a motorcycle shop. Motorcycling is really all I've ever done. Motorcycles, mountains, and just enjoying my life. I've managed to build a business that sustains and allows me to express myself completely in that medium.
And can I say happy 16th birthday today?
Thank you very much. 16 years of Saltire is longest relationship I've ever had, it has to be said. But no, man, people come through the door, you can see that they don't want to just buy a motorcycle. They've built into a lifestyle and an entire way of being, you know. So, and the thing I love about the motorcycling community is there is this solid camaraderie amongst every motorcyclist across the planet, very similar to firefighters. So that's always there, you know. But they're also rugged individuals. They've all got their unique style. So they like to be an individual, but they like to be amidst community as well. So it's they're a great bunch of people to be around, and I've been lucky to make my living doing that.
It's a community, it's a family. You know, we're all brothers on the road. I'm a motorcyclist myself. I bought my third motorcycle from you guys, traded in a 125 and got a Yamaha 600. And then got rid of that and got a Suzuki. So yeah, I'm familiar with what you do here, been here many times myself. Right, let's start with a wrist check then. And you've never been on the show before, so tell us what you're wearing.
Yeah, I'm wearing probably the most valued watch I've got, to be perfectly honest with you.
It's good to hear.
I never used to wear a watch until I met this man.
Good.
Johnny, Valiant, right?
Absolutely,
Valiant,
yeah.
Valiant collection with I love smelling it still, it's quite sick really, but yeah, Valiant watch from Johnny.
And what have you got on the wrist?
I am wearing our most prestigious watch yet. So this is our Triumph collection. It's a Swiss-made chronograph series. It's got a beautiful piece to the back of the watch that says "in case of fire, break glass." And I'm wearing it with our upcycled West Midlands yellow fire hose. And out of 52 fire regions in the UK, really only the West Midlands use yellow. So it's quite an impressive piece for today.
I mentioned it was your birthday, although you don't look at the over 15. Let me just say that right now. Jonny, you guys have been celebrating birthdays as well. It's 5 years in business. What's it been like starting off? Nobody knew who you were. Now everybody seems to talk about you. Everybody knows your watches.
It's been an incredible journey. I think what's really cool is, coincidentally, the 16 years of Saltire and the 5 years of William Wood have fallen on the same month, which is quite unique. But it's been just an amazing journey, really. Building a brand from nothing to where we are today. We have customers now in over 50 countries, and people really recognize who we are. We have such a specific line of watches which are really iconic and have really strong values. And it's been tough. I mean, in the first 2 years of growing a business, it always is. But now that we know who we are and what we stand for, it certainly gets easier. And we released a 5-year anniversary watch earlier this month. That was a beautiful bronze amethyst which was in dedication to the gemstone of the month that we incorporated. 55 pieces, all sold out. I don't know what it is about number 5s, but it sold out in 5 hours. So we were really, really pleased with that.
Time to talk about why we're here. And if you guys are hearing background noises, engines revving, burnouts, alarms going off, it's because all the bikers are down to enjoy the birthday celebrations, and we can't tell them to shut up for 20 minutes, half an hour while we record this. So you're just going to have to bear with us. Customised bikes. This is the place to be in Scotland for it. Although you are an English company, although, well, you're a Geordie, so you're kind of half Scottish, you know.
Pretty much Scottish, really, aren't they?
Yeah. I mean, if there was going to be a fight like Doomsday, you'd probably join our side. That's what I reckon.
I'd say
anyway.
so.
But how did you end up working with a Scottish customiser instead of any bike company down south?
As a mad motorcycle fiend, I just love tinkering with bikes and so forth and so on. So I found myself at home doing a drawing on a particular bike. So there was a bike that was really singing to me that it wanted to be a little bit more. It was finessed, it was beautiful, but I could see how I could make this motorcycle into something that was incorporating the same elements that you find in quality watches and that style and design and precision and so forth. So I was drawing and I was drawing, I was cutting and I was pasting, I was drawing, and I was getting endlessly frustrated because it just kept on looking like another steampunk motorcycle, and it was just like, no, it's looking horrible, it's looking horrible. And then I got a call from my business partner, Dave, and I said to Dave, basically expressed what was up there, and I'm like, that sounds really interesting. However, he says, why don't we take a different slant on this? Instead of making a bike that has watch in it, why don't we build a bike in collaboration with a watch company, and a watch company that's got a cool story already? So we can incorporate the story, the collaboration, and a little bit of watches in there. I'm like, genius. Yeah. This was all in the back of Dave having just recently bought a watch for his son-in-law, well, one of his son-in-laws. And it was, I don't know which kind of watch it was he bought from you, but...
he bought a Valiant watch.
Valiant.
Because his son-in-law is a firefighter. He's trying to become whole-time. His son-in-law absolutely loved it, and Dave saw the craftsmanship of what we brought and the authenticity of the story. And I guess that's when the vision came together. We were connected and we thought, how can we sort of combine horology and machine? And what's being come up with by these masters is this incredible bike behind Calum.
What was really cool about it for me was the story was already there. You know, Jonny's story with his grandfather and so forth and so on. There was so much meat to put onto the bones of this motorcycle. The part of the build that we did is, and Ricky, you'll know what it's like to customize a motorcycle. 9 times out of 10, you're taking things off it. So You're stripping it down, you're minimalizing it and so forth and so on. It was really hard just to look at the Indian Scout and go, it's perfect. Let's honor the bike by embellishing it, by bringing a little bit more, by bringing that flair, that panache. Let's really, really bring that sort of feel of heroism and, you know, like the strength of courage it takes to ride and be in one of those machines like these guys. So yeah, it was the hardest part was not to chop it up, but it was really good fun embellishing the bike, much like you're taking parts from the watch and building it into the bike. I did have a little bit of indulgence. That was my personal bit where I wanted to have a piece of the watch actually operational in the bike.
Well, before we go into that and the customizations, for the listeners that don't know, and the viewers as well, perhaps don't know about Indian, tell us a bit about the brand then.
Indian Motorcycle, it's an Indian Scout is what it is. It's known as the original American motorcycle. We get into a little bit of rivalry there between the Indian and Harley Davidson, but the reality is we've been Indian dealers now since 2014. Got the brand on board back then, and they've grown from strength to strength for us, and in the UK they're doing very well as well. Massive range of bikes from the entry level Scout Bobber right through to what they call a Roadmaster. So they've got real heritage there, real story, and again you can sense my passion comes out from that. The bike itself that we chose was the Indian Scout because it was just right, you know. It's just ripe for something new, and it's not an expensive motorcycle to start with, in my opinion. They're normally about 12,700 thereabouts for a standard machine, but we've obviously embellished this quite considerably. We've already been offered £30,000 for it, as a straight purchase. We declined because we want to make the bike available to every man and woman on the street, so they can just, £100 will get you a ticket, and that gives you a chance of winning this bike. So it wasn't really a conscious choice to use Indian as the platform, but it was the bike that was begging for it, so we built on that.
Okay, and I can see the bike, maybe you can't see it from where you're sitting, but take me through the customization process. First of all, how do you dream up what it is you want to do? How do you take things from not only the watch, but also the fire service, the fire engines, the appliances? How do you take all those ideas and then distill them down into producing the bike we see in front of
Yeah.
us?
It's playful conversation. You heard me talking earlier about drawing pictures, cutting out, basically cutting out little bits and making bits and putting them together and offering this up with that, and having conversation with Jonny and having conversation with Dave, and indeed the creatives that I work with in here. The guys are endlessly creative, and sometimes you have to rein the thoughts in and stay focused on the vision, which is basically to honour what the values of William Wood watches, firefighters in general, and the precision of watchmaking, to blend that together in such a fashion that it doesn't become too much. A little bit of everything, just nodding appropriately to what we're all about and what they're all about.
From the bike itself, what was the first stage then? Once you came up with the drawings, the designs that were signed off, and I know what it's like designing watches, because we've obviously done that.
Yeah.
We're working with you guys, perhaps on something that might come out in the not so distant future, maybe. What was the first thing you did with the bike? What was the first stage for customization then?
So the actual physical customization, the first thing we have to do is strip it down. The main, it's hard to say the main thing on this motorcycle, but one of the most striking elements of it is the paintwork. We wanted to get that real sense of urgency, but we also dipped back into the sort of 1920s, 1930s gold leaf style, so we could bring that sense of real luxury into it as well. All the paintwork on the bike, so you've got your base triple fleck fire engine red, which has then been painted freehand. All that you see there is freehand. Every line is absolutely done by a master stroke by a chap by the name of called Ross. And then in between that, he then infills it with what looks like a glue and then overlays 22 karat gold onto that. Once that then sets, he then brushes some of the 22 karat gold off, and then that leaves the gold, effectively gold gilt edges on the bike. We then had to take it into the spray booth and then deep lacquer it so it all then gets sealed into place. The bodywork, to answer your question, is the first thing that we had to do, because that is then going to sets the trend for where the whole thing is going. By that time, we've got 1,001 other ideas of what we're going to do here, what we're going to do with that. Then before you know it, a chap comes in and goes, I've got an old set of ladders from an old British Leyland fire. The fire's really? And so we get that in, we chop that up, and things just start to happen. And it was...
So that came to you, that didn't come
That
through your contacts?
That came to us. Operational local, based out in Newton Grange. The chap came in and he was, oh, you're building a firefighter truck bike. And then he brought the idea to us and we went, well, can we get the wood? So we were going to use wood on the handlebars, but to get the actual set of ladders was just fantastic. But I mean, that's been kind of what it's been like from the start. There's been one fantastic coincidence after another. And it like I say, it just kind of happened. We just kept on having fun, and the more fun you have, the more it kind of wants to have more fun.
Yeah.
So it was great.
Okay, so you've covered that, you covered the paint, you've covered the pinstriping, the gold leafing.
Yeah.
What other parts have been modified, customised on the bike?
We didn't really modify, we embellished, just to be really super clear. The part you can see behind us on the wall here is it's basically a thermostat housing. It's metal. It's there to stop your leg from getting burnt on the thermostat behind it. And we cut a section of that out and inset a piece of wood. So we got that bit of wood from the ladders, fitted them perfectly. Once we had that fitted, we then cut into the back of that and machined that out and offered up the William Wood Watches Triumph collection in reverse, so we could have the in case of fire break glass. And as I was saying earlier on, when the engine's running, the workings start to wind themselves up so you can see everything working, that was the indulgence that I wanted to create. So I knew the beating heart of an engine would be winding up the precision of a clock, of a watch. So it's, But aside from that, we use the wood to make up bar ends, and the bar ends is basically where you hold the handlebars. The end of the handlebars is a bit that's just, if you're going to drop the bike, that's the bit that goes down first to save the rest of the bike. We made that out of the same wood, but we inserted into that the coins that Jonny has set into the back of your chivalrous watch.
Correct, yeah.
So,
which is made from a 1920s British brass firefighter's helmet. So
aye,
there's over 100 years of history in that coin, which is in situ in the handlebars of the bike.
and the handlebars themselves, the hand grips, they were basically wrapped with fire hose. So you've got that feel, you're holding the hose, you've got the wood there beside you. When you sit in the cockpit of that motorcycle, it's like being thrown back in time. It's just fantastic.
And it's all genuine.
Genuine,
Yep.
100%.
No, and
Yeah.
looking at it from where I'm sitting just now, you've also got the William Wood crest on the seat itself. You've got the colour scheme running throughout. You've got amazing stitch work on it. Yeah, there's nothing, I've said this before, there's nothing I would have changed on it if I was looking to try and design it, because anything that you would do over and above what you have, I think would start to detract. You can go too far with things. So what was it like the first time you got to see, not the renders or the drawings, but a photograph of the real thing?
Insane. The first time I saw it in person, the hairs on the back of my neck stood up. It was a really, really special moment, because there's little subtle touches. Like on the saddle, there's 5 diamonds actually in the saddle, and they represent the 5 small children that my grandfather saved from a house fire back in 1966. So it's so intertwined with our story that you can step back and go, that's a beautiful bike, but you can actually be talked through all of these details, and every single decision that's been made has a purpose to it. So I was just mind blown, and I'm saying to Calum's going to have to build me a bike, obviously very different to this one, but yeah, I think that's mandatory.
Well, when we took the photographs of the bike, shared it with the listeners, the podcast, the feedback we got from people was, that's a stunning bike. And it wasn't a case of, oh, it's just, it's a watch bike, it's a this bike. It was a stunning bike. And I think that would appeal to somebody that doesn't know anything about the fire service, somebody that doesn't care about watches. They would just look at it and say, that's a nice bike. And that's how you win. Because when I was at the motorcycle show where I caught up with yourself a couple of weeks back, normal punters were coming up, bike enthusiasts, looking at it, standing there. I couldn't get a photo of it because it was some random guy for 10 minutes asking every question about it. The girl was taking down all the details, doing a fantastic job, but he's not going to walk away with that bike. Somebody else is going to walk away with that bike.
Yeah.
How are they going to get their hands on it?
This is the incredible thing about what we're doing here. So the bike is actually named the Always Ready motorbike, so it's worth saying that. And we chose the motto Always Ready because that's the international expression that firefighters sort of live by. And as Calum said earlier, we could have just auctioned this bike off, and somebody could have just ridden off into the sunset and paid sort of £30,000 for something like this. But we wanted to make sure that anybody could have the ability to win this bike. So ultimately, it's a prize draw. You can register your interest in the prize draw right now, and the tickets go on sale on the 20th of April. There's only 300 tickets available, priced at £100 each. So you actually have a 1 in 300 chance of winning this remarkable bike. The other really amazing thing is you don't have to have your bike license to think, oh, I want to ride away with this. Your lessons or an examination are included on site here at the Saltire facility. So you can win the bike, learn how to ride, and ride off with it too, which is pretty special. And the winner is announced on International Firefighters Day, which is the 4th of May 2022. We're going to draw one of the names out of the hat, and we're going to do it over Instagram Live, and that person is going to win the Always Ready motorbike, which is pretty damn special.
Very cool.
Very cool indeed.
It's also my birthday.
Yeah, the 4th.
Is it really?
Yeah.
It all ties, the universe is kind of connected, all the little dots here.
Yeah.
So what's next then? I mean, we've had your 5th birthday. We've had the purple watch that came out that was stunning, that went super quick. We've got this bike here. What's next for William Wood?
Next for us is really just constantly trying to push the boundaries. I think we keep coming up with new and exciting things. And customers always come up to me and say, how much further can you take a business which is so locked into the fire service? And I actually think you can go even further. Because we know our niche, because we know our values, I think you can be more playful, more outlandish, and be bigger and bolder. So in August, we have a brand new collection coming out. It's going to be a field watch, first time we've ever done a field watch. It's going to look nothing like William Wood, but like William Wood at the same time. And I think customers and anyone listening to this is going to be really excited to hear more.
To hear that more of that motorcycle at the back that's
Absolutely.
just started up.
Yeah.
Well, we are live. We are live.
For sure.
Fantastic. And what's next for you guys then? So 16 years strong.
Who knows, man? At the end of the day, it's nice to get this event we've got on the good road today. It was nice to do the Scottish Motorcycle Show. As I mentioned earlier, we're a community of motorcyclists, and I know that people like to come together. Even though we've had this horrendous period, it's great to see people back out. So we'll just be doing more events and so forth and so on. We'll do ride outs and get people out on their bikes and get out there playing. We have also been commissioned by the Royal Marines Commandos to build a motorcycle for them. So that's our next actual project. That's the next build plan. But aside from that, it's just constantly refining what we're doing and making sure we can deliver the right results for our customers and make people happy.
That's all you can ask.
Aye.
You mentioned there another bike, but we're going to take it back to this one because this one's been taken around the country. I saw it at the Scottish Motorcycle Show and it's been down south. So what other shows have people been able to see this at?
I think the first one was the
British Firefighter Challenge. Yeah, so in July last year, every year there's a firefighter challenge where the sort of fittest firefighters of them all come to compete in the UK on a purpose-built assault course for firefighters. It's pretty amazing stuff.
Like Tough Mudder.
Yeah, it's like Tough Mudder, and we were sat on the sidelines thinking it was going to be easy, and they let us try it out as exhibitors, and it was so difficult. But we had the bike down, and firefighters were just going crazy for it, to actually see it in person. And I think also they were just so thankful that we were sort of displaying the fire service through a motorbike, which I certainly haven't seen many people doing that before. And then it was at the bike shed in Shoreditch as well.
We took it down to Shoreditch for the bike shed, which is I don't know if you know about the bike shed, but it's a cool cafe hangout place. It's got motorcycle theme sort of booths, and the artwork is all very, very motorcycle. After the bike shed, it came back to Saltire, and then it was down to the London Motorcycle Show, and then after the London Motorcycle Show, help me, Jonny,
it was back up for the Scottish Motorcycle Show? Yeah.
And then after that, we were back down to London for the
London Watch
Show.
Which was literally, I think, last weekend.
Last weekend?
Oh, I'm losing track of time now.
It was.
I've lost my voice, mate.
Yeah, I know. Too many exhibitions, I think. Yeah.
Wow. So it's done a massive tour of the UK already?
Tour, yeah.
It's worth saying as well, because you say it's done a tour around the UK, anyone can enter this prize draw. So that's an important point. You don't have to just be in the UK. Anyone from all over the world, because a lot of our customers, and I think a lot of your listeners, are from the US as well. So anyone can win. It's just the cost of shipping the bike to somewhere like the States would have to be covered by the winner.
We'll cover the cost of transportation to any port or anybody's house in the UK. We have already done an inquiry for the bike to be shipped to New York. So I can tell you from Southampton to New York is £1,500. That gives you an indication.
A drop in the ocean.
A drop in the ocean.
Yeah. It's worth saying that all profits from this prize draw is going to go to the UK's largest firefighting charity, which was the one I mentioned earlier, that supported my grandfather, William Wood, when he was alive.
Brilliant. And if people want to find out more about the bikes, the watches, where should they go?
You can go to williamwoodwatches.com, which is where you can register your interest. I'm sure it'll be in the show notes for the landing page and for Saltire.
Same with the saltiremotorcycles.com. Find the Always Ready page. Click on the link, it'll take you straight to that same landing page.
A fantastic bike, fantastic couple of companies, and the chance to basically ride away with this. If you haven't got your license, these guys will sort you out, and it doesn't matter where you are on the planet. If you have an interest in this bike and an interest in helping out a charitable cause, get involved. There'll be details in the description of the video and also in our most recent podcast as well. So thanks for watching this video and good luck if you enter.